What's going on, guys? We as promised, we said we were gonna be going live when we got back. We just got finished up. Let me get this comment out there. And then Lindsay's gonna give you an update. I think we have to wait until, what up, Minnie and Nance? What up, Soul Food? Boom. All right.
So we want to give a little update about our Follow the Flip $25 to $1,000 adventure. This morning we did 5 local deliveries for the Follow the Flip pairs. That brought us up to 23 total sales for Follow the Flip, which we started 18 days ago. So over a pair a day. Yes, so we are up to $442 in our box that we're trying to get up to $1,000, so a little under halfway, and we still have how many pairs left in inventory?
We got a lot. We got a lot left in inventory. We've got some boots. We've got some good stuff. We wanted to go live really quick to talk specifically about local deliveries and how to overcome a lot of the obstacles that people run into. We run into the obstacles, you're gonna run into them. A lot of people message us and say, in my area, there's a lot of people that flake on deliveries. There's a lot of people who don't show up. There's, you know, whatever that thing is, we're gonna show you what we do in order to overcome that obstacle. So yesterday was a successful day. We had 5 successful deliveries.
We had, oh, sorry, go ahead.
For Follow the Flip. We did have another one, so we had 6 total. But the first 2 deliveries either canceled or didn't confirm. So there's a few things. Here's what we do before the deliveries. Do you only use FB Marketplace for local deliveries? No, Minnie and Nance, we use OfferUp, LetGo, and Facebook Marketplace for local deliveries. We
our first 3 deliveries all had some sort of issue as far as no one didn't show up, but canceled last minute, or the shoes didn't fit them. So actually we had one no.
Yeah. Here's exactly what we do beforehand in order to alleviate as many flakes, as many as no-shows as we possibly can. So yesterday we started listing all the shoes that we delivered, all the shoes and boots. When someone shows interest, we say, all right, when can you meet tomorrow? We never schedule deliveries more than 24 hours out because we know we're sourcing well enough to set up a delivery for the next day. Plus, we also say, hey, we're gonna meet you wherever's convenient for you. Since we offer that, we don't schedule for 5, 6, 7 days out. We don't even schedule for 2 days out. Tomorrow. What, are you available? No, I can't meet till Friday. All right, we'll move on to the next one. Message us when you're ready to purchase, and then we'll set up a delivery. That creates the sense of urgency and allows people to know where we're at with respect to, hey, it's gotta be within 24 hours. Then when someone says, okay, I can meet you tomorrow, let's meet at 11 a.m. at the Hannaford grocery store in my local town, whatever. Okay, we let them know right then that we're gonna be confirming with them an hour before the delivery tomorrow. So if the delivery is for noon, we say, hey, we're gonna message you around 11 a.m. to confirm. If we don't hear back from you confirming the delivery, we're gonna move on to the next buyer. Super, super crucial. Drive exchange, whoops. It's super crucial that you let them know. If we don't hear back from you, if we don't get that confirmation, because you're letting them know you're gonna confirm, that we'll move on to the next buyer. What else?
Keep track of who has reached out.
We create a waiting list of people so that if you don't get that confirmation, you move on to the next. Or if the morning of the buyer says, hey, you know what, for whatever reason, I can't meet today. Don't get my paycheck. Thought I had the money, don't. It's raining out. The 100 excuses that they're gonna give you that they can't meet today, you move on to the next buyer and you have that waiting list. Today, the first 3 deliveries that we had set up, flaked, schedule changed, my paycheck didn't come through, whatever.
Actually, it was 4 now that I think about it.
Whatever those are, we then put in those fail safes. Actually, it was 3 they flaked, and then the 4th was
2 they didn't fit, 1 they gave us heads up that they were like checked, didn't go through or whatever, and 1 never responded back when I tried to confirm.
So all those excuses, flakes, all that stuff, it happens to us as well, but because we build the waiting list and because we go to confirm the delivery before, We then moved to the next buyer. When they flaked, we moved on to the next buyer, and they instantly set up the delivery within a couple hours. It was boom, 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 boom. So we got all 6 successful deliveries, but we very well could have said, hey, this isn't working, this stinks, the first 4 aren't working out, Facebook Marketplace doesn't work in my area, blah, blah, blah. Hundreds of dollars came in today because we had those systems in place, and we stick to those systems consistently across the board. We had one person that rescheduled with us knows that if you are not ready to purchase now, because we're going to come to you, we're going to move to the next buyer. They were like, all right, I got the cash, I'm in hand, where can we meet? Boom, boom, boom. We got it done within 20 minutes of the previous delivery falling through. Now, if you guys have questions about local deliveries or how to set that up, that we didn't do this in the beginning, and we ran into those days that we hear people saying, it's so frustrating, we drove 20 minutes and the buyer never showed, or it's so frustrating, the buyer showed up and here's another thing, and the shoes didn't fit them. Another thing that we do that's super, super important is we qualify the buyer beforehand. If someone's super enthusiastic about a pair, we always confirm. For example, we sold a pair of women's 10 bogs. If they're like, oh my God, I love these, I hope they fit me, we say, are you a women's 10? And if they say yes, game on. But if they say no, I'm actually a women's 12 or a women's 7, but I'm just hoping that these fit, we then say, hey, let's wait until we find a pair that's exactly in your size. Or we say, you know what, we're going to bring options a size below and a size above so that you have options in that same price range. And it always confirms the sale. Hi, random question. Where do you purchase your shoe shelf? We get it from the Christmas tree shop. I missed the Ryan Rapid hands rub. It's always out there. I'm moving my hands back and forth. When you first got on Amazon, did you get a personal account or to get your feet wet? We don't sell on Amazon. Boom, boom, boom. If you guys have any questions specific to local deliveries, send us a DM. If you have any kind of other reseller questions, tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern, we go live for a whole entire hour. We'll answer all of your questions. Zelda and Mario, why not Amazon? It's just it hasn't fit into our game plan yet, and we're not ungated in a lot of the major brands that we sell yet. So we'll talk about that more tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern. Zelda and Mario, about Amazon, about anything reseller related. But if you guys have, thank you CEO, going to be there at 8. If you have specific questions about local deliveries and how to make the most of them, how to handle flakes, how to qualify your buyer, how to ensure that you not only get the sale, but maybe you get 2 or 3 pairs sold instead of just 1, send us a message. You guys need to sell tickets to hold conferences on coaching tips. The sparkly side, we really appreciate that, but we are wide open. Ask us questions. It won't cost you any money. If we know the answer, we'll give you the answer. If we don't know or can't give you the best answer to our best ability, for example, about Amazon or maybe about eBay, we'll send you in the right direction to the people who can give you the best answer. I for sure learned to meet up at local spots when I don't know the buyer. True story.
Yeah, public,
always meet in public spaces. We always travel together, so that's an added bonus. Bring people. Do you negotiate prices on FB Marketplace? Great question, Resell Ant. Most of the time, we don't need to negotiate prices because we're putting stuff up for $25-$30. If you have a higher price point, we usually do, like for example, if we got a pair of Jordans or whatever that might sell for a little bit when the market value is around $80 or $100. If we were gonna post it up on Facebook Marketplace, we might have a little room to negotiate. But we usually only negotiate if they're going to buy multiple pairs from us. It doesn't have to be multiple pairs in their size. We say if you've got any family, if someone wants to buy an $80 pair, we say, hey, let's send some other options and we can give you a bundle deal. We always want to bundle that stuff together.
And if they're asking us to travel and asking to negotiate, we definitely draw a fine line with that. We don't do that. But if we have any room, we'll offer, $5, whatever, if they're going to come meet us in our town or something super convenient and we have that wiggle room. But usually they'll choose for us to bring them to where they are and pay full price.
True story. Epic Treasure says, what are the signs that you have a flake on your hands?
Oh, I felt it today.
Tell them.
So we had set up, I had set up a delivery through comments on a post in Facebook, in one of the buy and sell groups on Facebook Marketplace. And she was just, I don't know, like I wasn't getting the best vibe from her, but ended up setting a delivery. And the conversation didn't end that great. It just was kind of like a, yeah, we'll be there, whatever. I don't know. I just had this like feeling in my stomach.
Here's some of the things that you're... So when we say, hey, we're going to be in a black Ford Escape, what car are you going to be driving so we can keep an eye out? If they don't respond to any of that, they're not as enthusiastic. These are the signs that, you know, you're seeing that the telltale signs that, hey, I'm interested, I'm ready to buy is... Okay, I'll meet you at the McDonald's in this town. I'm going to be driving a white GMC. That's a motivated person. If people are saying, yeah, I'm interested, but I got to try these on. I'm not really sure if they'll fit. Would you come down in the price? Like that's when you start saying these qualifying questions. Well, what size are you? And if they're not the same size, we have a lot of buyers interested in this pair for this price, so we can't move off that price until we go down the whole line of messages. That's about qualifying the lead. Sorry, keep going.
It's okay. I lost my train of thought.
So you're talking about not really remembering about what part of the conversation gave you the bad vibes.
Right. So then this morning I did what I had said, and I reached out to her to confirm the delivery. I reached out and was like, hey, I just want to make sure you're still on to meet at noon today, whatever. And I didn't hear anything back. And I quickly was like, all right, she didn't respond back. This didn't feel that great. So I sent another message saying, if I don't hear back from you by 11 o'clock or whatever, I'm going to move on to the next buyer. And sure enough, I had gotten 3 other messages from other people interested. So I went ahead and set up another delivery, and I never heard from the woman, never anything. Like, obviously she didn't show up for the delivery. So the confirming an hour before is a game changer, and especially the letting them know you're gonna do that, so they know to look out for a message from you. And make sure, if you haven't heard anything, put that in writing. Be like, hey, I haven't heard from you, so I'm not gonna come. Just so if they see it later or whatever, you know, you've covered your bases with at least letting them know you're not coming. But yeah.
True story. Someone said something. Quintana said, I have a lot of old friends and family on there on Facebook, and I don't think I'd want them knowing what I'm selling and for how much. That's a totally different story. It sounds like either you're asking too much for the product and you feel nervous that you're asking that much for whatever it is, or you're trying to hide the fact there's something in there that you don't want people to know that you're a reseller. So that's a whole different conversation. We use our personal Facebook accounts. We don't mind saying, hey, this is a pair of shoes for this much, because that's what the market is, and we're willing to deliver them to you. That's a whole different concept if you're not willing to put your face in front of the product that you're selling. And obviously, if you don't want friends and family to know what you're selling and for how much, you should not use Facebook Marketplace. You should not use any of that.
Yeah,
but all that's doing is hurting your business. Someone said, can you use Venmo, and should I create another Instagram to sell?
Venmo, yeah, we definitely have used Venmo. The app makes it super easy. You just pop up your like scannable pass, and the other person can scan it and send the money, and obviously just make sure you have confirmation that you've received the money before you send it. I had someone send us, Venmo'd us. They were just a few towns over, but they were going to be on vacation for a couple days and really wanted the shoes, and we don't hold shoes, and they knew that, so they were like, can I Venmo you now, and then I'll pick them up in a couple days. That we are okay with. If you've paid for the shoes, we will, store them here for, 3 days or whatever, if you have paid. And she Venmo'd directly. I got the confirmation. So yeah, Venmo is super easy. Selling on Instagram is a different story.
Yeah.
It's up to you. We don't sell on Instagram. It's not our thing.
We tried to.
Yeah.
It just didn't work out. It didn't feel right. But
if you want to have pictures of your baby or pictures of your dog, and it just gets confusing to also be selling alongside that, then maybe put up, get a different Instagram that's just going to be whatever you're selling, so people know that that's the Instagram if they're interested in buying stuff. And then you have an Instagram that is just you sharing your life or your experiences. That might be a good idea. But
yeah, earlier Gulf Coast Gambler said also keep in mind to bring a mat so that people can try on the shoes. That's a huge point. We didn't do that in the beginning, and then once we hit this time of year where it's super soggy, guys, it's been raining all day since we woke up. We always bring a little rubber mat that we found at a garage sale, got it for like $1, so that it does protect the shoes when people do try them on. We also will give them one shoe. This is be careful with this, but we also give them one shoe if they want to sit in their own car to try it on, and we're standing right there. Feel out the vibes, feel out the situation, the city. Always be safe, meet in public places. Definitely don't get into other people's car to try the shoes on. That was like a weird thing. People have also asked to like get into our car to try them on. No, that's not gonna happen.
Like to drive them to an ATM.
Yeah, use common sense. Nothing is worth safety to get the sale, meaning always be safe over try to get the sale. If you don't feel good about it, you don't feel good about the individual, move on to the next. There's been times where we haven't felt comfortable about someone reaching out for whatever reason, and then we've said, hey, we're actually going to give this to one of our relatives, and so that they stop messaging us and we'll move on to the next buyer. A rubber mat is genius. You guys think outside the box. We're only sharing how we've worked through some of the kinks and the problems we run into, so you can leapfrog some of those mistakes and get to these consecutive, consistent wins all the time. Guys, we sold over $25,000 worth of shoes on Facebook Marketplace alone. That's how we built our business. So when it's kind of funny when people say, it doesn't work in my area. Now, I get it. There's different variables that you might have to work with, but if you're solution-oriented, it will work in your area.
We've gone to different areas and done it too. We spent a month over in Vermont. We were like house sitting for friends, and this was back in the beginning, like first summer of us selling, and we loaded the car for the month with used shoes, brought them out there, completely set up shop, did all, new Facebook groups, buy and sell pages, I should say, on Facebook, did Facebook Marketplace, and just picked right up and did the same things that we're doing here in a completely different city with completely different people, completely different vibe.
Starting from zero.
Yeah, it's cool. You can definitely maneuver it wherever you are to be successful.
The sparkly side said, have you thought about buying Nike gear and clothes and reselling them? Shoes are our game. We've done some stuff with apparel. We know people who crush reselling Nike apparel and gear on a bunch of different marketplaces. So it is possible. If it's something you're passionate about, game on. There is no excuse. You can make a tremendous amount of money reselling Nike apparel. How do you handle people that meet up then only pull out less than what was agreed upon?
Ooh, that's a really good question.
We've run into this. Yeah, we've run into this several times, and it's gone both ways actually. We've both done, we're not going to sell to you, and we've both done, we've also done, we've taken the smaller amount. That's a tricky one. You have to weigh the option. If you think the people are pulling one over on you, you can either hold your ground, or, it's really up to the situation.
And it's up to your comfort level too. Like, no one should be screwing you over, but also if you're not comfortable confronting someone that's put you in that position, we're very, it's happened maybe twice, maybe one or two times, and we've definitely had to look at it and be like, in our heads really quickly, be like, is this worth $5 to have a confrontation on a pair that we can take $5 less? And definitely, one or two of the times it just was like, we'll laugh this one off later.
Yeah, but if that happens, if we decide to sell to them at the lower price, we keep note of who that buyer is.
Yes, 100%.
It's considered like a blacklist thing because we made it very clear how much bling by association. We'll answer your question in 2 seconds. That person is officially on our blacklist. Now, it's different. It's a different situation if it's a mom or a dad that is, pulls money out, and they may be pulling one over you, but if they say, oh my gosh, I thought I had it, or if the person's like, you know what, I'm only going to give you 20, even though you asked 30 and we agreed upon 30 and we're sitting here, what are you going to do? If it's me, you know, if it's a situation like that, and we've driven really far, we might say, okay, here's the $20. But when you see a listing of ours in the future, just move on to the next one. Or when they try to reach out to us again, we say, you know what, we're not going to sell to you. We're going to move on to the next buyer. If it's a mom, a dad who's got kids in the car, they're running around, like I said, they're either playing that game really, really well, or they just spaced and they don't have the cash. This is where the Venmo, the PayPal, the Cash App, all these other apps where we do take payment come into play. Yes. Oh, you don't have 20? We can take 20 in cash, and we can do all these other apps. If they don't have it, if they seem frazzled, they seem all this stuff, we build a relationship with them and say, hey, you know what? Okay, this time we'll take $10 less, but keep us in mind in the future as we're posting more stuff, and we'll catch you on the next
That's
one.
another reason why it can be a huge perk to meet in a public place or a police station or something. People might not feel that same sense of I can toss $20 at you and walk away with your shoes. Another reason why we don't hand someone both shoes before we have the money. Because we've had some close situations too where someone literally tried to throw less money at us, take the shoes, and walk away. So you eliminate some of the risk of that with choosing where you're going to meet them and everything like that.
It all comes down to qualifying that buyer. All this stuff we're talking about. If you don't feel comfortable, then own that and choose an online version. Choose all this other stuff. Choose through a Facebook Marketplace. Hey, pay me and I'll ship it, and charge a little bit more to cover that shipping cost. Say I'll free shipping, but upcharge it $10. There's lots of different ways you can get around it. But if you're solution oriented, you can make it work. If you're only concentrating on all the reasons it's not going to work, it definitely will not work. Earlier, Bling by Association said, "What's your shipping turnaround?" I think that that's a reselling question. We'll answer a lot of tonight. We ship same day. Everything ships same day. If orders come in after 5 p.m., it ships first thing the next morning. Here's a perfect example. We had a huge shipment go out this morning. These 4 packages, these were ordered from us while we were out doing local deliveries. We just got home. They're packaged up, and they're going to be shipped out before 5 p.m. We ship as rapidly as we possibly can. Y'all ever consider selling the used shoes at a flea market once a month?
Gosh.
We did that. We've done the set up a booth at the flea market and sell them. We've had people reach out to us and say, hey, I go to the flea market with my table. Can I sell some of your shoes? We tried that. It just was too slow for us.
You know what it is having to be at a certain place at a certain time feels limiting to us. That's the reason why we started this whole thing, is to be able to be, if we want to go outside right now and walk a dog, like, see you later, we're going to sign off and go do that.
Yep.
To have to go sit at a table for, even if it's 2 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours, whatever, if something else was popping up that was, more interesting or beneficial to us or would be more fun to us, whatever, we want to have that option, not to have to be somewhere at for a chunk of time.
It's checks and balances. It's time freedom. It's what do you want to do? Again, people crush setting up at flea markets. I'm not saying that you can't do it, but exactly like Lindsay just said, we have this like icky feeling about having to be somewhere for a lot of hours. It's why we're never going to open a store. We want to have that flexibility to maneuver, and you're taking some of that away. Now, the checks and balances is maybe if there's a big enough flea market, maybe if there's whatever it is, maybe we will sign up and go for a couple hours. But honestly, it's going to take a lot for us to make that leap.
And just like a lot of things, we'll definitely treat it more, because we probably, who knows, but the idea that we would do more sales in that chunk of time than we would if we were shipping or whatever is unlikely. So we treat it as a time to make relationships with the other people. We did some like Christmas fair or holiday fair or something, sold like 1 pair of shoes, but we were able to build relationships with a lot of the other vendors and just interesting people. So it might be cool to use it as a chance to do that, to interact with people that we wouldn't normally.
So true. I'd be flipping. We deliver within 50 miles of where we live. He asked how far do you deliver. So we've delivered 49 and a half miles away. Now, there's a lot of things that we did in the beginning that were mistakes. I put out there that we deliver within 50 miles when our shoes are only $25. So solution oriented, what we did is we started qualifying those leads, and if it was 49 miles away, we said, hey, is anyone else in your family looking for shoes? We can offer you a deal if you buy multiple pairs. So those longer distance deliveries started turning into 2, 3, 4, 5. We would deliver 12 pairs of shoes to an entire family. They would say, hey, let's get the neighbors over here, and we'd fill the entire car with shoes in their sizes, the neighbor sizes, and we would literally deliver, when it was supposed to be 12 pairs of shoes for 25 bucks a piece. We're solution oriented. How many shoes do you have in your inventory? We currently have about 200 pairs of shoes, and we currently sell between 190 and 200 pairs a month. We're sourcing every single week. We've got a crazy sell-through rate. Actually, we have a little bit more than that. We have about 250 pairs in stock. Yeah. Someone mentioned earlier about doing kind of like a networking event at the local brewery where you have a bunch of shoes. Phenomenal idea. Again, checks and balances. It's a great way to build a bunch of relationships. You may not get as many sales. You may get a ton of sales. Figure out what works best for you in your scenario. It's not the most ideal scenario for us.
Yeah, shoes are tricky too because you're having to, if you think about, all right, so we're going to go to a brewery. How many people are going to be there? What's the likelihood of the sizes that they are and the styles that they want? We sell any type of shoe. So do we bring boots? Do we bring sneakers? Do we bring sandals? Men's, women's, kids? Do we do full size runs? And then we're looking at hours to just transport stuff and set up. So, I mean, we're huge on mental real estate. We're going to do whatever works for us. You guys do whatever works for you. That sounds fun to attend, 100%.
Yep.
That sounds like a really good idea.
Yeah, there's two big things that we want you guys to, we're going to finish with this because we're going to answer a bunch more questions tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern. When it comes to local deliveries, when it comes to reselling, there's two things. Checks and balances, we've talked about it, and I think the Sparkly side, you're going to take on checks and balances, and mental real estate. There's so many things that we do that free up our mental real estate, which is the most crucial for us. We may lose a little bit in profit when it comes to shipping because we choose an option that frees up our mental real estate. So all we got to do is print that little piece of paper and slap it on the box, and it's game over. It might cost us $1.12 more. It might cost us 87 cents more in that scenario, but it's done, it's efficient, and it's going to get there in 2 days. Mental real estate and checks and balances. You're always, on a daily basis, we are saying, what do we like doing? What do we not? Just today, as we were finishing up the deliveries, we said, man, it's so great. We've actually done 16 local deliveries using Facebook Marketplace in the last 7 days. Before that, the weeks leading up to that, we've barely even posted on Facebook Marketplace because we were like, we don't want to do any deliveries. Again, checks and balances, boom, boom, boom. Now we're like, all right, how can we add in $1,000 per month, $250, $500 per week extra on top of what we're doing only using these local apps? We know how to do it. We've done it. But now let's reincorporate it back in. And then we're saying, hey, what can we do with the money there? Always evaluate what's working, what's not. That's going to change. And then pour gas on what is working and get rid of and stop being romantic to what is not. Thank you guys for your time and attention. As always, if you have questions, let us know. It's been a blast talking about local deliveries. Tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, we're going to go live here on our Instagram and talk about anything reselling related. We'll answer all your questions then as well. Have a good afternoon.